Thank you for staying. The Q&A s režisérem bude pouze v angličtině. The Q&A with the director will be held in English only. Now I'm happy to invite here the director of this great movie, Michael Kochem. Thank you for being with us. Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Let me tell you that I'm deeply moved after seeing your movie again and again, and I think this is one of the best movies of the year. And of course, there will be some questions from audience, but let me start with maybe the general question: how was the main idea for the film was born, and can you tell us more about the genesis of the project, and of course the real story behind it, maybe?
Yes. So yes, it's a long story actually. Years ago, I met a young woman in a remote mountain village who told me the story about her and her husband, who changed heavily due to a brain tumor. And the woman was quite young back then, but her reaction to the challenges impressed me very much, because especially she found really a way back to her husband, even though terrible things happened. And this made me think of writing this down, and also because I had the impression that her inner calmness and her great composure was somehow rooted in this mountain world she was raised and brought up. I thought there is a connection. And I asked myself, in general, what is the influence, the place we are living, growing up, and what when it comes to challenging situations in life, what is the impact of the environment we are brought in? So that was like the starting point.
The landscape and also the visual language of your movie is quite striking, but I also had the feeling that you don't want to simply overwhelm the audience by the romantic image of the nature in this remote area. What was your approach when you try to capture the power and the majestic beauty of this region?
Yes, I mean, I really wanted to set my story in a mountain world that is more interesting than the postcard image you maybe have in mind when you are thinking of Switzerland. And because your life in the mountains is rarely just lovely, it's often harsh and brutal also. So the valley we shot the film is really narrow, steep slopes. The work is hard. In winter, in the village, the church lies in the shade for a month because there is no sun. So such a place radiates a completely different energy for me than a pretty village in a mountain idol dressed for tourists. So let's say, and I think I was looking for a place where people live primarily from the alpine agriculture and not as usual in Switzerland from the tourism. So because I think this makes the relationship to nature, to the land they work so hard and they cultivate, closer and really intense. Because as I said, I really wanted to I wanted to dig deep into this question, how our relationship with the place we are living and born in influences our approach to the big questions like death and being ill. So in the end, a place where the force of nature can be felt directly seemed to me really interesting.
Also, why did you choose the now more and more popular in the art world, the nearly squarish so-called academic ratio for a movie?
Yes, because it would have been quite easy to impress and overwhelm the audience with wide cinemascope images, of this massive mountain panoramas. But there is also a dangerous thing about it, because I think you easily also can lose a little bit the focus on the people. And in the end, for me, I really wanted to portray this mountain farmers and mountain people, and it's about them, about their ability to accept maybe that you cannot control everything in life. And I think yes, this format helps me to really like focus on the people. And there's another aspect which let us think about which made us decide to use this academy ratio. It's in this specific landscape, I think, in these narrow valleys and steep hills, the vertical line in the frame is more important than the horizontal line. So the academy format underlines a little bit this this vertical line in the frame.
Maybe we have some questions from the audience. Anybody? Yes. First line.
Thank you. Hi, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. I was just wondering if you have any personal experience living like this in the mountains, or if you know any people personally who live like this, where it came from. The movie, the idea for the movie, the things they go through. Have you seen it with your own eyes, or have you been there?
Yes, I mean, I feel quite close to this region because I was born nearby and I spent a lot of time there. I was not living there, but I know it quite well from just hiking and climbing, and I spend a lot of time there, and I don't know why, I feel close to these places and to the people actually. And so this encounter I had with this young woman, which the story is based on, was for me really striking. And yes, as I told you, I thought it has the way she copes with the challenges has something to do with this place so I spent a lot of time there during the research, because in the beginning of the project it was really like a documentary research on the place, environment, on the people, and in parallel I wrote the story. My interest is really, beside the story, is really on the people, on this place, also on the mountain experience you do when you are there. And I wanted to convey a little bit to you as an audience this mountain experience I have when I'm in the mountains.
We also speak about the main character's illness. How did the sexual aspect specifically come in?
You know, I did quite a lot of research with some brain specialists, because I wanted to make sure that the facts are really right. So it was not my interest to describe like all the different stages of this disease process, but yes, the sexual concerning the sexual aspect, it's just a fact that when you have a brain tumor located in your frontal lobe, where Marco has it, you can lose your impulse control, and that means that basic needs, such as sexual needs, also can no longer be controlled, which in the end puts Anna in a very, very difficult situation, because, you know, she obviously wants to help her husband, Marco, through this period of time. On the other hand, she's totally responsible for her little daughter. So I thought it's a question I put there towards you. There is not easy answer, but for me it makes the situation quite interesting.
So what was it like to work with the non-professional actors? It's a specific situation. Could you talk about the background also?
Yes, because, during my research on the story, I met all these wonderful mountain people, unique people. And the longer I spent my time in the mountains, the more I thought it would be wonderful to work with them. Because in the end, yes, the experience of living in the mountains, I think, is somehow mirrored in their faces and bodies. And this interests me a lot. So in the beginning, they were not interested to be part of the project because, as mountain farmers, you don't have time, especially in summer. The work there is quite hard. But slowly, I built up some relationships with them, and I got to know them quite well actually during the time. And so I just spent time with them, and in the end, most of them agreed to be part of the project. Yeah, but it was quite a different kind of work with them as with professional actors, obviously. And I always told them not to act. I didn't want them to act really. I wanted to build them a stage with my images so that they can be as they are. And I told them to stay themselves because I really wanted them as pure as possible in order to convey an authentic experience on screen.
Anybody from the audience? Also, I wonder how many people in general were on the set. Was it rather like intimate process, the whole thing?
Yeah, I had this deal with my producer to working in a really small crew. With a really small crew, we were only 10 people on the set, which is for a feature film not much. A lot of people, crew members had double positions. But on the other hand, we had a lot of time. So that was the deal that we had 70 shooting days during 3 different seasons. So we really had the time to react on what's going on in the little community, and to react on the weather, to react on the work they had to do. So we were 10 people on the set, and it was an intimate kind of an intimate space, I would say, within we worked. And this was also important for the non-professionals, because I thought with a big team they would not be maybe able to show themselves really and to open up. It was really like we were close to them. We were not much of people, not many people. So it was like a little family, actually.
And what about the editing process? Also, how many takes in average you had to take with your authentic actors? Which takes were the best? Maybe the first ones or the latter ones?
Yeah, usually it was really different, because usually, we did as many takes until I was satisfied, which could be sometimes also 20, 25, but there were also scenes we could shoot only one time. If you remember this scene with the bull jumping on the cow, for example, and copulates with her. So there was just this one possibility, one shot. And so there was a huge range concerning the numbers of takes. But I also made the experience that with the non-professionals, the first takes were, with some of them, the first takes were the best. And we had also non-professionals, they needed a high number of takes in order to stop playing and acting, and just saying and doing the stuff I wanted from them. So it was complicated, actually, and we shot a lot. I mean, we shot like a lot of material, and in the editing process, we were really like we had to find the film. It was similar to the writing process. In the editing process, we really had to find again the film, and the first version of the film was 6 hours, so we ended up really working us to the core of the film, and now we have like still 2 hours and 16. But yeah, it was an interesting process to find the film. I would say 3 times. One time writing it, directing it, and then during the edit, you have to find the film again.
Let's talk also about the importance of sound, which I'm really looking forward in the movies. Like the music and the choir also, which also helps to structure the movie and also to comment the movie. Who composed the music and the mournful words for choir?
Yes, the sound, the choir music, which is obviously really important, is composed by my brother. I always do the music with him together, and he composed the choir music. And I thought in the beginning of writing, the story of Anna and Marco shows already a connection to the Greek tragedy in a way, even in its basic structure. We have this illness, like the tumor, which is like a blow of fate put to the couple, and particularly to Anna, it's a test. And now we are looking how she deals with it. And this structure you find also in the Greek tragedy. So I thought it would be nice to use a choir like as a Greek choir who is commenting on what's going on the story, and a choir which also allows you as an audience to sort of, to just from time to time step back and think about what you just saw. And the choir music helps also to structure the story. It's like it's told quite elliptical, so I can use it as introducing different chapters. And I'm quite happy with the choir music because it's composed, and I did a lot of research on the lyrics because I looked for old Swiss folk songs, and I took the lyrics of it, and I gave the lyrics to my brother, and he composed the music. So it was interesting that in the old Swiss folk songs, like nature, they sing always about nature, but in a different way. Normally the folk songs are quite it's a little bit too happy and too fast. And I wanted to have it more like in a more melancholic way.
You seem also interested in slow movements, in stillness, and also some kind of mundane but amazing parts of this agricultural life in the Alps. Do you have any favorite filmmakers in this type of like filmmaking? Do you find any inspiration in recent world of art cinema, or it comes from a different place?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have a lot of filmmakers I adore. For example, like Bresson or Dreyer or Antonioni, they were like really important for me also during film school and in the beginning of filmmaking. And but also contemporary filmmakers like the first works of Bruno Dumont, Carlos Regadas, and I recently saw a film of Michelangelo Framartino about this cave, which I really liked. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of things I'm inspired by. Yeah, but I read also a lot. It's also novels are quite inspiring for me, and I mean, the most inspiring thing is just to go in the mountains, walking around, and spend time there. With at least for this project, it was quite impressive because it takes you a little bit of time, but then you will be confronted with so many things. and yourself. So that's quite interesting.
Anybody? We have people also here. We will see it. There are quite a few of them. Of course, the early Brunner Dumont is something that I really kind of regard as all these our favorites. That's something that I mentioned in the introduction, because it's really, you can feel it in your movie, but you have your own voice. So maybe in the end, how was the response on the Berlinale for you? And also, how do you feel about representing Switzerland, not in the World Cup, but at the Oscars? I think
yes, we are out
after yesterday. Much better.
Yeah, so it's like it was quite hard yesterday. I mean, Portugal was so strong, but I mean, it's nice. It's this experience that this film is located so low. It's set so locally, actually, but the echo is quite big. The film was screened over 50 film festivals over the whole world, and it was at the Berlinale. And there's not like big names in it. It's just about, I think, the nice thing to experience is that I think these people, they convey something which is quite strong, and that's really nice to see. Also, that it's not only this kind of art house film which is only played on festivals. We had a quite good theatrical release in Switzerland, and so I was really happy about this, and I'm happy that Switzerland sent it to the Oscars. Now we take it step by step. I mean, but I'm happy, and for me, it's like I wanted to offer like a little bit a different viewing experience that you may have with other more classical films, and I'm happy that people respond on this.
It's also your second movie, which is really, really impressive, and it's kind of obvious questions. I don't like to ask it, but in your case, does it come to you some early thought for your third movie, or is there some?
Yes, it's interesting that you ask, because I finished like the new treatment of the new film, not the final script, but there is like an advanced stage of it, and it plays again with some elements I already used in the winter, but it's different. Obviously, it's another film. I want to explore something else, but this kind of mountain world is a fascinating thing, which I will explore more.
Looking forward. Of course, if any questions, so now I will thank you. Oh, yeah, actually, once more, the guy, sorry.
I also wanted to ask, what do you think creates this stillness in these people who live in the mountains? What do you think leads them to this like very slow life, this acceptance of death and different things in life that are much more difficult for us, it seems, than for them? Or maybe they don't express it enough? What do you think?
I'm not sure whether I understood your question properly, but you think about what makes people in the mountains like react differently to this kind of illness and death than people in the cities, or?
Yes, pretty much. What do you think makes them so slow, so acceptive of these difficulties?
Yes, I mean, I'm not sure, but I think that if you are born with the awareness that in the end nature is stronger than you are, and this feeling is quite strong if you are there, because you have avalanches coming down, you have rock slides, you have like heavy storms, it's really like obvious that nature is strong, also in terms of a destructive potential. nature has. You know, it's stronger than you are, and I think you have to. It's awareness that you have to accept this. You cannot control everything, and my experience was that this kind of this mountain far people, they know that they cannot control everything, so they are in a way calmer, and they have like this like this stoic composure, which tells them to stay calm facing difficult challenges. And so I think this is could be kind of this way to cope differently with these situations than normally we are doing in the city, where we are thinking like the answer is every time lying is in the treatment by the hospitals, for example, or in a proper treatment, in a proper analysis. I don't know.
There's no other question in the audience. I will thank you for your time. This was Michael Koch. Thank you for an amazing film once more, and we are looking forward to see you on some huge festival next years. Good luck with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy that the film is at your place. So yeah, tell some people they should see the film. That would be nice. And all the best, and hope to see you by another occasion.
Of course. Thank you. Bye.